Today I'm going to tell you about the 2005 film, Island. After a devastating event that led to the mass extinction of mankind, the survivors have settled in a specially created isolated structure, where they are closely monitored by staff. There are strict rules in this structure. Men live separately from women, everyone wears the same white suits, everyone has a bracelet on his arm with his data. Everyone must follow a strict diet and exercise. Aggression, sexual acts and alcohol are forbidden here. Every day there is a lottery, the winner of which goes to the island, the only piece of land that remains clean. Everyone is happy and congratulates the winner. No one is confused by these rules except our main character, Lincoln Six-Eco, who has lived in the structure for 3 years. He is constantly tormented by the same dream. He sails on a yacht called Renovation, along with a beautiful girl. He is annoyed by the diet he has to follow every day, although it sometimes helps him break his girlfriend Jordan 2 Delta. They feel a mutual sympathy for each other, but intimacy here is strictly forbidden. One day Lincoln is called to the director of the structure because he is concerned about his condition. During the conversation, Lincoln says that he is annoyed by the rules of the structure, draws a yacht that constantly dreams and asks many different questions. While everyone else in the structure is waiting to win the lottery and go to the island, Lincoln needs something more than just being here. Merrick, the director of the structure, convinces Lincoln that he is very lucky to have survived the disaster and to have survived. Merrick also tells Lincoln that he will soon move to paradise, so Lincoln has a question why he himself will not go to the island. The director explains that he cannot go to the island because he must with his wards to make sure that everything works properly, and adds that the attendants cannot win a trip to the island. Merrick, who is also a doctor, can't explain anything to Lincoln about his dreams, so he orders a brain scan with small robots inserted through his eye. Day after day nothing changes. Lincoln also goes to his unremarkable job. He works in one of the sectors of the structure where he has to administer special drugs that supposedly go into his food through tubes. He decides to discuss his issues with his friend John, but he does not pay much attention to it. He is fascinated with creating a table and calculating the probability of winning the lottery. At the same time, they bring in a new kid who acts like a child and everyone laughs at him. In the women's sector, one of the girls in the last term of pregnancy goes into labor, which gives her and the baby the privilege of a trip to the island. However, this is only so for those who live here. The staff of the structure has completely different information. In one of the working sectors there are capsules inside which there are people of different years and at different stages of formation in a nurturing environment. Only the children are not here, though they look like big kids themselves. The staff names their products. When they are mature they cut their umbilical cord and pull them out of the capsule. Then they put a number on their arm and put a bracelet on it. In one of the sectors, Lincoln catches a bug and he does not understand how it got there because all life on the planet is extinct. After that he goes to a nearby sector to his friend the mechanic, McCord, to ask him to fix the computer, although by the rules, communication between them is forbidden. After a long conversation in which Lincoln talks about a bug, McCord gives him a matchbox with a drawing, another thing Lincoln has never seen in his life. The evening begins another lottery in which Jordan wins 2 deltas. She rejoices, but her friend Lincoln is alarmed because he saw her medical book on the principal's desk shortly before. Suspecting something is wrong, Lincoln goes to the technical sector at night to release the bug, and after seeing that she is not dead, he moves on. He stumbles upon a room where people are grown, and upstairs he stumbles upon a hospital. He puts on a nurse's suit and witnesses a gruesome event. A pregnant girl who was to go to the island was killed by a lethal injection after giving birth to a baby, and the baby itself was given to a girl who resembles the deceased. Also, Lincoln stumbles upon an escaped man who has recently been all over the screens because he has won the lottery. Lincoln is scared and bumps into a security guard who helps him. He returns and runs to the women's section to warn his girlfriend. Dr. Merrick notices that Lincoln is missing and tracks him down through the cameras, then orders him found and killed. On speakerphone, all residents of the structure are alerted to a biohazard allegedly caused by Lincoln's Six-Eco contamination. Lincoln finds Jordan, but she doesn't understand anything he explains, but he manages to convince her to escape from the guards. Together they climb up the sectors, then they manage to get to the surface. They see only the desert in front of them and do not see the signs of contamination they were shown from the structure. They realize that it was all a hoax. Merrick orders his agents to track down Lincoln and Delta. Laurent, a Department of Defense agent who has invested a lot of money in this project. The doctor has to tell Laurent about his invention, It's an organic matrix that allows him to skip the childhood phase, and in 12 months he has a ready-made clone that matches his age. The clone can become a donor in any of the organs or give birth to a child, as genetically they are exactly the same. In order not to violate moral ethics, the customer is told that the clones exist in a vegetative state which are not capable of thinking to feel pain and are deprived of consciousness. However, after several years of cultivation, it was found out that organs of these clones are useless, so they invented a story about global contamination and put them into an old military bunker underground. Dr. Merrick informs the agent that one of the customers, Sarah Jordan, had an accident and needs an organ transplant, and her clone escaped with the Lincolns. Laurent and his team begin a helicopter survey of the area, but find nothing. Lincoln and Jordan run off in an unknown direction but soon stumble upon a bar, using a matchbox that Mac had previously given Lincoln. At the bar, Jordan tastes alcohol for the first time in his life, and Lincoln finds McCord demanding an explanation from him. Mac takes the fugitives to his house where he tells them that there was no catastrophe and that they are identical copies of their owners, and that winning the lottery means that the owner needed an organ for transplant. Also, each clone is indoctrinated with one of the 12 stories. Lincoln, on the other hand, is a new eco-model who can see his owner's memories as well as borrow some skills from them. Mac explains that Merrick is one of the board members and also part creator of the Clone Invention Program. If they get to their sponsor, Merrick will be in big trouble as he breaks a lot of laws. McCord gives them clothes and explains how they can find their sponsors. Later they go to the train station where Mac buys them train tickets to Los Angeles. The train station is also visited by assassins of the company who have spotted Lincoln by the robots injected into him earlier. McCord warns Lincoln and Jordan to run away, and he himself dies from a shot by one of the assassins. The clones begin to run away. They hide in a barn. Lincoln with an air hammer manages to damage the hand of one of the killers, and then the heroes escape and manage to take a train. Upon arriving in town, they use a special machine, an information directory, to try to find the residential addresses of their customers. But since Lincoln used a dead cord card, they are spotted by the police, and later Merrick's agents arrive as well. The police apprehend Lincoln and Jordan. Laurent realizes that the clones must not fall into the hands of the authorities and attacks the car where they are sitting. The clones take advantage of the situation to escape. In the course of a long chase with shootings, they manage to escape by stealing a motorcycle on a magnetic cushion. Meanwhile, Dr. Merrick is in the structure talking to a friend of Lincoln's. His friend also starts asking Merrick a lot of unnecessary questions. Merrick decides to kill him and orders a list of all the products of the series. The clones manage to get to Lincoln's house. With a retinal scan they enter the house, the real Lincoln taking the two of them as burglars attacks, but soon seeing that his copy is in front of him stops. Six Eco tells Tom that it is all a hoax and they are real people. Later in the conversation he learns that Tom is terminally ill. Finished the conversation, Tom removes the bracelet from both of them, after Six Eco notices the layout of the Renovation yacht, which he saw in his dreams. The clones want to tell what is really going on in Merrick's company and ask Tom to help them with that. Tom is up to something else. He goes up to his office, calls the company and says that his insurance product is sitting on his couch right now. They send out an extraction team. Jordan is alerted by something and stays home. Meanwhile, Tom and his copy go to the news studio, but on the way he points a gun at his clone. Laurent shows up. A chase ensues. Due to an accident, the two of them have to leave the car, but Lawrence can't tell who is who. The clone discreetly takes and puts a bracelet on Tom's hand, and Lawrence mistakes him for a clone and kills him. Lincoln returns home where he and Jordan have their first kiss. In the structure it is discovered that several generations of the product have suffered, so Merrick orders their destruction. Through a lottery they choose clones to be disposed of, and those who are still in the gestation phase are killed by an injection. At the same time, Lincoln receives a call from a corporation asking him to come in for a scan to create a new clone. He finds out that the problem product batch is going to be destroyed, so he and Jordan come up with a plan to save them. Lincoln wants to sneak into one of the sections of the structure to disable the hologram which broadcasts the destroyed world around the structure. He then begins to pack up to go to the structure, while his friend Jordan goes to the park and settles up with the dead McCord card. She is spotted by agents, caught, and taken back to the structure. Upon arrival, Jordan escapes thanks to a previously hidden gun, and Lawrence learns during a conversation with Merrick that Jordan will be killed, even though her mistress can no longer be saved. This does not please him. The doctors, while examining Tom's body, discover a bracelet on his other wrist and realize that the clone is still alive. Tom gets to the sector where the fake destruction scenery is broadcast for the structure, and the clones who won the lottery are driven into a special room to be burned alive. Loran, who hates Merrick because he too was once branded as subhuman, helps Jordan save the clones. Lincoln is about to blow up, but Merrick shows up. A fight ensues between them, from which the Doctor emerges victorious. He prepares to kill Lincoln, but the latter manages to shoot him in the throat with an electric cannon, after which an explosion occurs. The hologram disappears and the clones see what's really going on behind the structure, climb up and look around in wonder. After that, Lincoln and Jordan sail away on a Renovatio yacht to meet a new life.